All right, traders, to watch this video for Wednesday, March 27th. This buy closed almost exactly where it opened. We saw that yesterday. We see it again today after the gap up. So intraday trading has been kind of squinky. I'm seeing long periods of boredom and then a couple really decent setups each day. So for those of you that weren't in chat, I have a little bit of a heartbreaking story, at least it breaks my heart. DropCar, DCAR, probably looked about like this. I said, hey, this is worth watching. I just heard Benzinga talk about the Lyft IPO coming out on Friday. I said, hey, this one's worth watching. This one and HYRE. So this is what DropCar looked like when I was on the mic saying that. And this is for those of you that weren't in chat. And then this is what HYRE. So I looked at both of them. And what I said was, I really like HYRE over the high of day, which would have been 680, not just because of the thesis that I think these ride-sharing companies might, start to run. They both had decent-looking charts anyway, but I liked HYRE more because it's just a little bit better of a trader for the most part, but I swear these two feel like DropCar and Higher, they seem like they take turns being crappy traders. I made that joke today. But this was my favorite because, for one, I liked the daily chart a little more, and two, a break of today's high, which is 680. Look at this. You've got yesterday's high just above at 685. So you've got a potential high of day break that also breaks yesterday's high right in that same spot. I leave my office. I go out, talk to my wife for a little bit. I come back, and it looks like probably like this. And same thing. DropCar looked like this when I left. I come back and it had done this too. Anyway, I did catch some trades in them. And look at DropCar, how it closed. So anyway, DropCar, DCAR, and Higher, both on watch. Very strong close in DCAR, HYRE. Not so, HYRE may be more interesting going into tomorrow because it topped out at 785 and we still have that recent high of let's get this right, of 803 just above. So over today's high, you got the whole number 8, then 803. So this one, especially if DCAR goes again, absolutely worth watching, as is DCAR. But that was the heartbreak for me, if you weren't there, is I gave those ideas, and HYRE is the one I actually put a number on, high of day break, and I left the office and it went. All right, so here's what else I'm watching. BIOC. Really nice volume today, so that might catch some attention tonight. It closed well off its highs. It went up to 135 before closing at 123, but maybe a red to green tomorrow on that one. NDRA. This one's a little obscure, but it had this nice pop, flagged, another pop, and is flagging again, and a nice intraday reversal today after selling off. It ended up closing pretty close to its highs, so that one is on watch. CPAH had a really nice pop today, closing at its highs. So that one, absolutely like a red to green, something like that. Looks good on that one. I already talked about DCAR and Higher. NK sold off today, but ended up closing right back near its highs. I really like this over today's high, over 165. We might just test this 186 high from yesterday. And what we have today is just a nice inside day on much lower volume. So that's one of my favorites going into tomorrow. OMED, I talked about this. I like this back through a buck. I've been talking about this one. I had this nice volume pop back here. It's kind of trending along right below a buck. If it gets through a buck, we might head up and maybe take out that 108. So that one's still worth watching. TVLT has been getting these, well, if I go to 15s, I'll show it to you. Been getting these volume spikes. Here's one, here's one, here's one, and then again today. And it's kind of, when you go back to the daily, it's kind of flagging. Had a huge move back here before it reversed, and then it's been grinding low ever since. But now it's got pretty good support. So I like it over this flag, knowing that just here over to the left from what, about two weeks ago, you had a high of 193. So there's another potential catalyst over 193. So I like it long over this, really over 184 flag. Over 184 might just push it through 193, then the whole number 2 might come into play and so on. So I'm going to actually write those numbers down in my notes. 184, what I say this was, 194 would be a break of that high. So there's a couple numbers that are catalysts, a break of the flag, then another catalyst above. So this one's interesting to me. And then SOLY, this one's a little obscure, recent IPO as you can tell, but had a huge move from 5 to whatever it was, 829. And now we've got 3 days lower on declining volume. So this one's a little bit interesting for a potential bounce back up. Again, hopefully we'll find some potential gap plays as well. It's been a couple decent days trading, but I don't think I've had 5 trades in the last 2 days. So I'm really trying to take it easy, let the market do its thing, let these little shakeouts happen, and really try to focus on the low risk, high probability setups. One example, if you weren't there today too, was SEEL, which was on our radar, as you know, coming into today. And then there was the opening 20 minutes. So we had yesterday's high and the day before that's high just above. So I called this long over 295, and look at the volume that came in, and it pretty quickly, because of these stacked catalysts, went from 295 to 338 before kind of bleeding lower. And you know what? This one, I don't know. It closed well off its high, so yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not going to add it to the watch list, but there's a good example for those of you that couldn't make it today of a nice little trade we had too. All right, I'll leave it at that. I'm done babbling. We'll see y'all tomorrow in chat.